All right, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and we are back in the 5.9 beta. And once again, I gotta let y'all know anything you see here, anything I say in regards to what you see here, is subject to change when the update goes live next Tuesday, rolling into Wednesday, because all of this is on a APK test server that was set up by Marvel Future Fight and Netmarble team so that I can bring you guys content ahead of time. I say all this to say that Mr. Sinister could get buffed or he could get nerfed. So don't take what you see as the final product. Now, with that being said, let's get right to it. How am I feeling about Nathan Essex? How am I feeling about the Sinister one? I'm feeling pretty good, right? He looks like he's gonna be a good character. And I say good and not great because there is one major thing about the character that really crushes me to pieces. And I'm hoping that this is only the case because it's a test server, and when we get the official release, this will be tweaked quite a bit. So let's talk about Nathan, right? Overall, he has a very good kit. He has some unique abilities that are unique to just him. It really feels though like they read the comics and they understand the type of character he is supposed to be. So I have to give mad props to the Future Fight team. Everything from his design, right, to his overall skill set is fantastic. How the animation look, right, how the skills play out, how he reacts when he uses these skills, absolutely fantastic, right? However, he may not be for you simply because he's a summon user, right? He's a character that uses summons to do a good amount of his damage, and for the first time in a good little while, he's a character that will, for the most part, require you to use all 5 skills in some sort of rotation, if you want to use him optimally, right? And it all comes down to his 3rd skill, right? Right here it says genetic shockwave applies to self, increases all attack by plus 70% for each surviving summoned character, up to 3 characters. So if it's 70% per character for 7 seconds, now they die very quickly. However, you can put them up fairly quickly, right? And if you're attacking as well, you can take some pressure off the summons to keep your damage up for the full duration of this thing. However, he's one of those characters that really are going to require you to use the 1 and the 2 skill, because the 1 skill has a summon, the 2 skill has an ability to either copy whatever he's up against or create a summon if he cannot copy it. So far, I've tried it. He cannot copy world bosses, right? I tried him against all of the Black Order. I didn't get around to trying him against mutants, right? But I think if it doesn't work against one of the world bosses, it probably doesn't work against any of them. I unfortunately cannot use him in Shadowland because every time I try to enter Shadowland on the test server, it just reboots the game and takes you back to the main screen, right? So basically the game crashes, and that's been the case for basically every APK that I've been on so far. Not sure if they deliberately do that or not. The reason why I mentioned Shadowland is because in Shadowland things may be different. You might be able to clone the characters there because they don't have debuff immunity like the world bosses do. Okay, so your dream of creating, I don't know, a clone of Thanos to attack Thanos may actually come through, right? So just keep that in mind. It's not dead yet. We'll have to find out when the server goes live for everyone. And I still to this day get people asking me, bro, how can you play before us? I'm a part of the Star Agent program. Basically, I get sent the game ahead of time, not on my own account, on a test account, right? Just so I can give you guys content and give feedback and possibly hope for changes, if not when the update lands, in the future. Hopefully not with a uniform. Anyways, so with Mr. Sinister, what I've noticed so far is the best way of using him and getting the most amount of damage is to actually follow the usage tip right here. Right, every time I try to click on it, it will take the character into the portrait mode or whatever, right? So you kind of have to use him 1, 2, 3, then 5, right, for the defense down, And then after that, you can use 4, and you can just let this play out because you have 5 seconds of invincibility, and then you just go right back into that rotation. The bad thing about a character like this is since you have to use so many skills to build up to the skill that does the most amount of damage, it really means that your proc timing is going to have to be impeccable, like seriously impeccable, for you to land it every single time on the 5th, or you just have to get extremely lucky. Either way, sometimes your proc is gonna miss. It's gonna end up on either like the 3, the 5, or the 4, right? Or you're gonna have to slap him with a rage and yeah, rock like that. So that's kind of bad. Like that's kind of bad, but I have no problem with a character needing to use all 5 skills. Like not every character in the game can just operate off 3 skills, and you can still use him with just 3 skills. Like you could literally use him with the 3, the 5, and the 4. But when you do that, you don't get the summons, which means you don't get this big attack buff. You know what I'm saying? Because the 3 doesn't summon anybody. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Additionally, from having the summons out, you boost his recovery like by 50%, right? Can't exceed 30% of his max HP, but that's really good. In addition to that, this passive right here, which we've never seen before, generally characters get revive. He doesn't get a revive. What happens is as soon as his HP drops below 50%, he immediately snaps back up to full health. So 100% health. Then this goes on cooldown for 140 seconds. So yeah, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's fine. That's fine. It's basically a revive because once you hit 50%, you're pretty much on the verge of death. So this is pretty dope. Right? You get an extra life. And he has a good leadership. Right? But my main problem with him is his damage seems really, 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 really low. And I don't know if that's stemming from the fact that I love Mr. Sinister and I just wanted him to be like OP. Sometimes it's me, right? Not all the time it's the developer's fault. Sometimes it's just me. I have love for certain characters and I just want them to like stomp face. You feel me? And sometimes you guys call me out on it. And I appreciate that as long as you do it in a respectful way, because otherwise I won't even bother responding to you. All right. So that's why I'm saying like he has a good kit and he plays the way how I think he should play in a Marvel Future Fight game. But his damage seems really low and I would like it if they would ramp that up like by a lot. I don't know if they're doing it because of the fact that he has this 210% attack buff here, but whatever the case may be, the damage just looks really, really low. All right, so just keep that in mind. In addition to that, he is kind of slow when he attacks. It doesn't really jeopardize the character to that great of extent. Like it doesn't, because of how he plays. You're gonna see in a little bit of gameplay, but he feels very slow and he stands in place a lot. I don't like end up dying because of it, but it's definitely different from a lot of the characters in the game that really flies around. If anything, he kind of feels like Thanos. You know how Thanos just kind of like slowly walks into his portal like a boss? That's how Mr. Sinister feels. Like he doesn't fly around the map and like do all these crazy things. He's doing crazy stuff, right? But he's kind of doing it in a way where he's flexing on you, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind. You're not gonna see like him flying around the map in any kind of game mode, okay? Anyways, I'm testing him out the same way I tested Professor X and Mystique. So just with a stage 5 ISO set, a couple woos just for ignore defense and maxing out their cooldown. I'm not going to give him any CTP or none of that, right? I just want to test out the new characters just like that. And we'll see how he rocks. We're going to go up against a stage 10 Thanos. I'm going to show you guys like he feels really, really weak, man. I don't know why. I was testing him against Corvus as well, and I'll show you guys a little bit of that fight as well. It's unfortunately not very good. All right, so what we're gonna do is 1, get that summon out. 2, this was the one that's supposed to clone, but can't clone Thanos because he's a boss. And then we use 5. And we use 4. Now, earlier I said he moves slow, but it has nothing to do with how he runs. He gets around perfectly fine, but look at his skill animation. Like you'll notice that they animate very, very slow. It's almost as if he's just constantly flexing on you, right? Like look at his 5th skill. He's just literally just laughing in your face, right? And I don't have a problem with it, but I'm just saying, like, some of you guys may not like the fact that he's not like flying around and doing all these crazy things. It's like he's still doing crazy stuff, like you know what I'm saying, firing energy blasts and cloning himself and like presumably copying people, but he can't in World Boss. I think he should have had the ability to do that. Whew. Okay. An iframe there. Iframe again. He's pretty tanky for a blast category. Ooh, okay. Anyways, I was gonna say character, but then, ooh, I got caught up in my words because I didn't want to die. But I don't think the tankiness comes from I guess it's a different kind of. I guess I shouldn't say tanky because he has like what 4 iframes and invincibility, right? I don't think tanky is the right word. I think safe. Safe is a better word. But you can see that his damage is not looking stellar. This is stage 10 with double support. Now, yes, I could give him a custom gear or a CTP. All that stuff is on here for me to use, but I'm not going to, right? Because this is not that high of a stage. I don't think he should be struggling this much. Like 2 minutes to take Thanos down to 11 bars when he has like 55% defense down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. Anyways, let's go show him off against Corvus Glaive. Now, this is stage 25 with double support and 100% ignore dodge. Okay? I want you guys to keep that in mind. As you can see, he cannot clone Corvus Glaive either. And he ran out. Well, he came back in. Good. Dummy. I wish we could like mind control him or something, but I guess not every character needs to have some kind of crowd control mechanism. Right? We'll just go that and that. And 3. Then we can use 5. And he iframed the summon. And that cost us damage. But luckily, his 4 does good damage as well. And it's that continuous beam, so we're fine. Like, at least for him, he's not relying on just one skill to do all of the damage. But you kind of need the 5th skill to at least land initially so you can get the defense down. Yeah, so over a minute here on 25. Could it be faster? Yes, it could be a little bit faster, but this is not good damage. Unfortunately, it's not. Let's throw him in against Cull Obsidian so you guys can see what he looks like over there as well. Now, one thing you guys do need to keep in mind is a lot of the times when they give us these APKs, they give us the characters at level 70. This time, for some reason, they decided to give us a level 60 Mr. Sinister. So you also have to keep that in mind, right? Mystique is already like at her max, whereas Mr. Sinister is not. Right, he's at level 60. But still, this is not an excuse for the damage to be this bad. Like, I'm just listing off some of the possible reasons why it's so low, but I don't think it should be. And I think this once again comes down to the Future Fight team really struggling to find balance when it comes to characters that have summons. Because even now, after all this time, we don't have a summon character that's in the meta. And I'm saying the closest one we have is Loki. And the last time Loki was meta was like, what, 2 years ago? Right. So they really got to find a way to make summon characters more relevant. Whether it's a new game mode where summon characters can dominate, like back in the day when we had the Super Giant boss fight, where summon characters were just so much better than everybody else, or they gotta find a way to like buff them without making their summons like really OP, because these summons are garbage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like their only purpose, you can hear them punching. Anyways, their only purpose is literally to be there so he can get that damage buff. But even with the damage buff, he's not hitting that hard. And well, I guess it's the damage buff plus the recovery the extra recovery from the third skill, right? So there is a reason for his summons. They're not pointless, and that's part of the reason why it's kind of bad that he's set up this way, because you have to use all the summons. They could be beneficial to you by giving you the attack buff and the additional healing, but they could also be a detriment to you because you could be in your iframe and the boss could iframe one of your summons and then immediately pull you out of your iframe. You lose the defense down, you lose the damage, and then sure, you can fall back to this skill, right? But then the same thing can happen again. It's a continuous beam, and if you get interrupted, you lose all the damage. Thankfully, you keep the invincibility, but you're still at the mercy of your summon. So he has the Nightcrawler syndrome, but he's not Nightcrawler. That's for damn sure. He has lots of ways to protect himself. 4 iframe, which are very safe from what I've seen. He has the invincibility. He has healing on his third skill, and right, healing built in, like a really good heal built into his 4-star passive. He has a really good leadership for himself, right? So yeah, he's not perfect, definitely not. Unfortunately, he's not gonna come anywhere close to the top of the game from what I'm seeing right now. Not for PvP, not for PvE. I'm happy he's here, but he definitely needs more damage. Otherwise, he's gonna be a hard sell, especially since he's paywall. So ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap it up right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. If you guys think I'm underselling the character, let me know, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be fair, right? I love Mr. Sinister, but to come here and just be hyped that he's in the game is not something I'm gonna do. Like, I'm happy he's here, but I want more from him or for him. But if you guys think he's okay the way how he is, more power to y'all. Just keep in mind, you're gonna have to shell out some dollars after the faction battle ends, if the faction battle even comes at all, right? Just keep in mind. Let me show you guys. So he's over here. So yeah, it's in my box here somewhere. There we go. Oh, here's some squad chests popping for you guys. Pop it for me. Yep, 50 clear ticket. Yep, another 50 clear ticket. Another 50 clear ticket. Another 50 clear ticket. Oh, I was wrong. 50,000 gold. Please, Future Fight team, fix that, because that's pure garbage. I'm gone. Peace.